We're back. Another episode of the Golden V podcast. It is Wednesday, July 9th, 2025. Yes, we are talking about lacrosse in the summer, as we should be, with the Western Lacrosse Association season. I wouldn't say winding down, but probably what, Brett? Two-thirds of the way through?
Yeah, yeah, I'd say that. Yeah,
So,
another month left until playoffs.
yeah. And it's always good to have you contribute lacrosse, right? Because this obviously started with you and I talking about the Vancouver Warriors and all the happenings of the Warriors and all that kind of good stuff, right? But we're in the middle of a WLA season, which you and I were talking a little bit about off the air. It may come as a bit of a surprise to people. I was looking at the LAX mag, and I'll try and share the tweet here. National Senior A rankings today have the Major Lacrosse League's Six Nations Chiefs sitting at number one with the Senior A rankings. Obviously, winners of the last two Man Cups, including that one 2023 in New Westminster against the Salmonbellies. So you mentioned something off the air. Maybe you could share a little bit about. You said it was an NLL All Star team.
Yeah, I mean, if you go up and down their roster, they've got all the top players from
Right.
a lot of the NLL teams. So,
Right.
I mean, they're number one for a reason with their guys on their team, and they're going to be the team to beat come to the Man Cup.
Yeah, I'm gonna share it here in the chat, but just a quick glance for me anyway. Obviously, with all the work you and I have been doing together, and we always appreciate having you on the show and talking lacrosse with us, no matter what time of year. It's nice to be able to do it in the WLA season too. But like I just looked at the uh, on the Game Sheets stats website, running down this roster, shared it in the chat, like Josh Byrne, Ryan Smith, Lyle Thompson, Dane Smith, Cody Jamieson. I don't know about Shane Jackson and Randy Stats, but Randy Stats sounds familiar. Larson Sundown, another guy that I remember. I'm trying to think who else, but that's like the first, that's the top guys in the roster in scoring, right? Josh Byrne, Ryan Smith, Lyle Thompson, Dane Smith, Cody Jamieson, Shane Jackson, Randy Stats,
Yeah,
right?
you look at that right there. They're each one of those guys are their top offensive players on their own teams in the NLL.
Yeah, exactly. And and that's all in one team, in one league, with them gunning for a third man cup in a row, and maybe you know better than I do. I don't know if that's a lacrosse record, but it certainly would make anybody that follows the game of lacrosse, maybe not only in Canada, obviously with the Man Cup being like a national title, but I mean, you guys have been making some moves too, right? Because I'm on the Belly's email list. I mean, you guys have pushed hard, and you can share a little bit more about this. You guys have pushed hard to scale up your team as well. I mean, the most recent one uh, that I have here was NLL goaltender of the year, Frank Scagliano. I mean, we all know what Frank did this year for the Saskatchewan Rush, who, in a lot of ways, people could say differently. Maybe narrowly lost that title to the Buffalo Bandits. I mean, they were in those games, right? And Frank was a big reason why.
Absolutely. I mean, they just were one half short of being NLL champions. But yeah, um, new us, we've definitely loaded up this year. You know, we fell short a couple years ago. We hosted Six Nations in the
Very
Man
well.
Cup, and it was
Great
a
series.
pretty tight series. It only went 5 games, but there was a lot of one or two goal games, and we
I
know
remember
that.
that was good.
Yeah, it's quite the atmosphere to play a Man Cup game in Queens Park Arena. So, um, our GM and president, everybody involved with the Bellies are going to do whatever it takes to get back there and win this thing in Queens Park. So, we
Yeah,
definitely
yeah. It'd be great to
picked
see
up a
it if I
lot of
could make
players.
it.
So,
Yeah,
sorry.
it'd be great to see if I could make it. I hope it happens because it happened 2 years ago, and it was an experience that I've never experienced. And I remember mentioning this to you before, and I remember this mentioned this to Kurt Milosky when he first joined the Warriors to start the 2023 season. He asked me to fan greet media event. He said he's like, what did you remember about the Man Cup? And I said, I remember the Six Nations Chiefs fans and all their drumming. And he's like, oh, and that really stuck with me. I mean, just the volume of that. But um, let's look at some stuff on you guys too, because obviously you guys have been working hard, right? I mean, here's some names I shared them in the chat: Mitch Jones, Hayden Dixon, Will Malcolm, Tyler Pace, and obviously, I mean, Justin Getty was playing goal until Frank Scigliano showed up. But that's no team to slouch at either.
No, no, not at all. I mean, our back end's really good. Pretty much everybody on our back end is in the NLL, so we've definitely
Yeah, yeah.
made the most acquisitions, I think, in the WLA.
Well, yeah, you have, right? And that's the thing about that major leagues ranking or that national senior men's ranking, right? Is that the team that is really the team to beat the team that won the WLA last year. And I'm not up on all their moves, but that's the Victoria Shamrocks. I remember somebody telling me one of the Warriors games where he came on the floor, and I don't know who the kid was, but I remember him commenting. I can't remember who I was talking to from the Warriors, but just about how much money and time the Shamrocks are spending to win another Man Cup, right? And the Shamrocks won the WLA like last year, like I said, right? And then they couldn't beat Six Nations either. So there's a real dogfight between you guys, meaning New West and Victoria. We talked about that when the season started. But tell us a little bit more about this Adnax team because I don't know if they came out of nowhere. And obviously, we talked about the one angle that everybody's going to talk about with Christian Del Bianco in net for Coquitlam. And I saw their first game, Coquitlam's first game this year against Burnaby. So tell us a little bit more about that Coquitlam team because yet again, right? I'm looking up and down that roster and I'm seeing some names that I recognize. Obviously, Christian's name, but here's another name that I recognize: Remy Shinato. Right, there's another guy there. I'm trying to think who else I have here. There's somebody else besides Christian, who's maybe playing
There's
for us.
Tyson Kirkness from
Thank you.
the Warriors
Yeah, Tyson
on the
Kirkness,
team. Yeah,
another guy I recognized.
yeah. Garrison, he
Right,
was on the Warriors near the end of last year.
right.
Um, But yeah, the Coquitlam, they're a very young, hungry team. You know, they might not have a lot of NLL guys, but they've got a bunch of young guys. Are definitely looking to make a name for themselves. You know, they play hard on the back end. They transition hard, and their offense is relentless. They move the ball well side to side. They don't really have
Right,
one true number one offensive guy that's gonna take the ball in that. They work well together um, as a
right.
team. So I think that's why they've had such great success. Is they're pretty unselfish up front.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because I was trying to figure out as much as I could before the season started, just about what's happening in the WLA with who are the best teams to beat. Obviously, you get your experience and insight, and we talked about that on May 30th. But yeah, I don't know if it's a really a three-team race now. What do you think? Because I don't see much from anybody else when you're looking at the standings, right? In terms of the other
No, if
four
you look
teams
at
in
the
the WLA.
standings, but I mean, got us, Coquitlam and Victoria. We've kind of it's almost like a three-way tie for first, and then the other
Yeah.
teams are kind of battling it out for the last playoff spot. I
Oh, I
mean,
see. But yeah, it's a good point. That's why you're here.
yeah. So,
Put Whitney
I
into
mean,
shape.
once you get into playoffs, anything can happen, right? It's best of seven, game every other day. I mean, you run into a hot goalie. Ooh, there's a lot of things come up. People have work commitments and stuff like that, so you never know. You never know what's going to happen in those series.
Well, that's the interesting thing too, because the next team on this ranking, and I'll see if I can get it, is this is the Maple Ridge Barrage. They sit at number 10, right? So that's the next closest team to any to you know somebody in the WLA, right? And it's basically the other four WLA teams sort of round out the bottom of the 14 rankings. 10 is Maple Ridge, 11 is Langley, 12 is Burnaby, 13 is Nanaimo. So
Yeah, yeah. No, Maple Ridge got a good team. I mean, they've got a lot of their offense as like Claridge is having an MVP caliber year. They got Riley Lowen on there, Dylan McIntosh, Peyton Cormier is playing for him right now too, right? So that's three or four
right.
offensive Vancouver Warriors there. So they've got a good squad there.
Well, it's that's what makes me happy too. Is that even as WLA season, I'm always trying to understand the crossover and what guys are doing. They're not playing the WLA, and obviously the way the season ended for the Warriors, um, nothing but optimism, right? Because look at the guys that are in the league, right? That they're playing in the WLA with a lot of Warriors names, and obviously the well-known names are Christian and guys like you, right? But there's a lot of young guys coming up here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the WLA is a good opportunity for guys like Claridge to really get a lot of playing time. I mean, he's the number one guy on Maple Ridge right now, so all
Good for
that
him.
experience is going to benefit him going forward.
Yeah, and it's just nice to see all the positivity around the team. We know the way that things ended, but let's keep moving here. What do you got coming up down the stretch? So you guys got a rematch tomorrow night against Coquitlam, right?
Yeah, so I mean, Coquitlam's already taken the season series, but now it's pretty tight. We've only got a couple more weeks left of the Gucci. My
Oh,
son say
somebody
hi.
needs attention. Hi. Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Hi,
Um,
buddy.
yeah, so every game going forward is pretty important right now. We play Coquitlam and we play Vancouver Burnaby on Friday night.
Right. So back-to-back weekend for you guys, and obviously the Lakers. Seems like the last couple of seasons, the Lakers they kind of struggled near the bottom of the league, even though. And I said when I went to their home opener against Coquitlam, I was wondering when the Lakers were going to kind of make a comeback in the league and move back up the chain a little bit. Given their tradition, right? But um, it's
They just
it's
beat
going to be
Victoria.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, you guys got a back-to-back weekend. You're going to play Burnaby and you're going to play Coquitlam, but winning against Coquitlam could help you guys, even if you don't win the season series in terms of the standings, right?
Absolutely. I mean, we've got to get the win, and it's going to help us out with them getting a loss. So, and we might end up seeing them in playoffs. So, we want to make sure we have our best game.
Yeah. So how would that shake out right now? Let's do a quick playoff prediction, and then we'll get ready to wrap it up here soon. So I don't know if I have I don't know if I have the current WLA standings in front of me, and I'll try and find it. But who's fourth right now?
Uh, I haven't taken a look in a couple days. I know all these changes, but I thought, who was it?
Let's take a
Not
look.
Burnaby. Can you look it up there?
Yeah, no, I can.
Is
Here,
it
hold on.
Newport?
I'll find it. We'll share it. I'll find it. We'll share it. Almost time for
Somebody
bed, right?
snuck out of bed.
8:17. Yeah, no
Oh, he
kidding.
snuck out of bed.
Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. So yeah, we got Adnax Belly's final rematch on Thursday. Gerards are in the
No,
rematch.
I
Week
wasn't
7.
in blood. I wasn't in
He's talking,
Oh,
he's talking, buddy.
that's okay. He can talk. That's fine. We're good. Okay, so standings. Let's try and get this going here, Brett. Yeah, right. Thunder are fourth at 5-7.
Thunder's in fourth.
Yeah. So Gerards are 4-7. Thunder's everybody's played 12 games in the top four. Gerards played 13. Lakers played 13. Timberman played 14. So the Thunder got a game in hand on Maple Ridge, right?
Yeah.
So it's going
And
to be
then
interesting.
what's the top? What's us?
Victoria,
Victoria and Coquitlam.
Victoria, and Coquitlam have 19. You guys have 18 points.
Yeah,
Victoria with a 9-2 record, 9-2 record.
they got a
Adnex with a
tie in
9-2
there.
record. Yeah, I think or the Adnex here have an OT win that the Shamrocks don't have. You guys obviously 9-3 because you lost to Coquitlam. Thunder at
Yeah.
5-7. So I don't know if the Thunder are going to do any damage, but certainly going to be interesting, right? Because they were there last year against Victoria.
Yeah, they beat
And they
Maple
beat
Ridge in the first round, and then they've got a real good young goalie that kind of stood on his head last year,
That's right. I
and
remember that. I
took them
remember that.
took them to the finals against Victoria.
Yeah, so that's interesting, right? And then obviously we'll see what happens with Langley. But yeah, thanks again for doing this, Brett. Let's just throw out a couple quick things before you wrap it up. Golden
My
V,
pleasure.
goldenvpodcast.ca, facebook.com/Golden V podcast. Send us an email, info@goldenvpodcast.ca. And we'll wrap it up there with Brett. Brett, thanks for doing this. Later on this week, we're going to have TJ Lee, ex of the BC Lions, CFL veteran. He's going to join us this Sunday at 2 p.m. to break down the Lions game against the Edmonton Elks. Thanks, Brett. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
No.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
Coop,
good to see you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.